Alright, what's going on everybody? Okay, here, and today another Melty Blood video. In the week of Melty Blood, we're almost done at this point. I want to talk about one of the most divisive mechanics in the new Melty Blood game, which is shield. So as a side note, shield was strong in previous Melty Bloods as well. It didn't work the exact same. There was like an immediate parry and a held shield where you can cancel into special moves, and then there were shield counters as well. But in this game, they changed the shield system quite a bit. So we have Saber helping us out here. Thank you, Saber from Fate Stay Night. So there is the A shield counter, which gives you attack that leads into a combo. When I say a combo, I don't just mean like a simple combo. When the game came out, this is what everyone was doing, but you actually can get pretty good extensions of shield counter in this game. So you have a couple of ways you can follow up for good damage. Then you have the B follow-up. If you play Dragon Ball, you're definitely familiar with this. It's basically Vanish. If you don't commit to anything, you might, emphasis on might, be able to do something about this. Huge emphasis on might with a normal. But for the most part, if you get a counter hit, this leads into a really big combo. The main purpose for B is for people who do shields right away, but we'll revisit this. Then you have BC. So this actually costs the moon gauge. It's an immediate thrust that goes through. If you press the C button, you get the A follow-up, which is just a shield counter. Now, the main thing that kind of gets people is the shield wars that could happen. One thing is that the CPU in training mode won't actually help you practice the shield war. So instead of that, let's actually try to break this down and think about what to do. So first we have the shield counter. So if you shield right away, you can activate your own shield counter, which the opponent can shield back. If you do an immediate shield to the B counter though, since the shield doesn't turn around right away, you get hit from behind and that leads into a combo. So in that case, you would have to wait. So either do nothing straight up or delay your shield so that you can put them back in the guessing game. But if you do that to the A, then you get hit. So this is where a lot of people's complaints about the game feeling random comes from. And that is why our friend is going to be this, the BC follow-up. So this is what I use by default to basically eject me from the situation. If they do the B follow-up, you will fly away like that. And if they use their moon gauge, then you guys clash. So this is a pretty safe escape against shield. Even me trying to chase it with B is pretty tough. You might think then that this is okay, but again, like for the BC follow-up specifically, there's a limit to how much you could do this, so you won't get too degenerate in the guessing game. The main thing about this thrust is that it essentially removes you from the situation. So next would be to review the shield properties, because this is actually one of the ways you would fight shield, is to beat your opponent for shielding. So as a reminder, the stand shield beats mids and overheads. The low shield beats mids and lows. Air shield basically beats everything, but when you land, you're kind of in trouble. Anytime you miss a shield, it actually uses a little bit of moon gauge. Hitting someone's shield is definitely a good deterrent from them, especially if your character has a high return off throw, like Red Arcade or Arcade, who gets combos off their throw. So if you feel like your opponent is gambling with shield a lot, then you could use the thrust follow-up, or you could aim to target their shield attempt by attacking with the opposite direction. So using a low against their standing shield, or using a high against their crouching shield. Now, that being said too, another way that people have been dealing with this is actually with option selects. Melty Blood is kind of an option select fighter. So the main one that will help you out a ton would be option selecting with the shield counter, just in case you're not fast. It could look pretty hard to do this. You kind of have to match it out. So what you can do is you could do input, and then BC and put it in like to one of your strings, and if you do that, then you can automatically shield counter, and if they don't shield, you just do your pressure normally, and it takes a lot of the stress off you, and it will help discourage, hopefully, your opponent from mashing on shield too much. So that might sound a little weird, so I'm going to show you an example with Saber. So with Saber, we're going to throw and do a simple right? So there you saw me do 2A, 2A, 5C, 2C. Now, again, it's gonna come out 2A, 2A, 5C, 2C. But if I do Wake Up Shield, automatically get the counter. And despite it being Clash, because it's a shield counter, I can't really do anything. Now, you might be like, how did you do that? Because if you do 2A, 2A, BC, you will get Moondrive. So the way I'm getting it is I'm doing 2A, 2A, 5A, BC. So I'm actually pressing all 3 attack buttons after doing 2 crouching jabs. So this is a string then that if they do stand shield on Wake Up, like this, she's just going to get a combo. And if they get the successful low shield, then my shield counter gets smoked by the thrust. In the case of the B follow-up, this will happen in the corner, but in mid-screen, this will not happen. She just ejects. And in the case of using the BC, we clash. In the corner, same thing. We're gonna clash. Okay, so hopefully that helps though. You can put these type of inputs into a lot of stuff. Try to be creative. You'll see a lot of like long-time Melty Blood players. You'll be like, man, they're really good at doing this already. It's mostly because they just have the legacy knowledge of understanding how this game accepts inputs. So that's how they came up with these techniques already. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.